Hi, it's Robin again from Real Kosher Family Living, and this is the third time I've tried to make this video and I haven't been happy with the last two, so I'm going to try it again. Alright, today I'm going to talk about this course that I'm doing. This is Voluntary Simplicity from Northwest Earth Institute, and I'm doing this course through a group called Mary Jane Farm Girls. And I really encourage you to check this out, www.maryjanesfarm.com. I'll leave a link in the box below. And Mary Jane Butters is a natural family living and organic farmer, and she has a magazine, and she has an amazing website with an oodle of resources. You have to check out the forums. There's hundreds of women who are practicing natural family living, homeschooling, parenting, crafting, cooking, farming, just across the spectrum. And there is such a wealth of different kinds of practice and information there that it's amazing. I really recommend it. So in our local chapter of Mary Jane's Farm Girls, we have an amazing leader, an amazing organizer, and she comes up with a lot of really great ideas for stuff to do. So right now we're doing this course. And I was first introduced to the ideas of voluntary simplicity when I was in college. I went to the Evergreen State College, and as part of my seminar and writing, I was a science student, but you do seminar and writing at Evergreen, even, spread throughout your science stuff. And so that was in 1997. We read the book Voluntary Simplicity by Dwayne Elgin, and then after I graduated, I went through a period where I was making a lot of money and spending more than I made. When my first child was born, then I kind of matured out of that very quickly because I stopped working and we were living on one income. And so then I read a lot I went back to that voluntary simplicity movement, and I read about frugality and being happy with what you have and not trying to fill your spiritual holes with shopping, which was much easier, I have to say, once I had kids, because I have a lot, thank God. I have so much to fill my soul with now that I don't have to shop in order to fill me up. So I think there's a lot to be said from the voluntary simplicity movement. I have a lot. I'll say that a lot. I have some issues with the writings. I find them to be generally very off-putting. I'm not attracted to the writings. The purpose of this video is actually a challenge I'm giving myself from this week's reading. This is week 2 from this course, and it's about, what's the week called? The week's called Living More with Less. And, I did a big downsizing in 2003 when my daughter was born. But my husband's income has come up, thank God, and I'm finding myself kind of falling back into old habits, and I want to make an adjustment by doing a challenge from this week's according to this week's reading from the book. But I wanted to say that I wish the voluntary simplicity movement wasn't, well, alright, so in week 1, they talked about some stereotypes of the voluntary simplicity movement, and one of the stereotypes they talked about was rich people giving up some things and feeling smug about it. And that's the attitude that comes through in a lot of the writings is such intense smugness and superiority that I find it to be very hard to get through. The idea that voluntary simplicity is a philosophy is, I think, a little bit aggrandizing, and they talk about the mainstream consumer culture and how you're being so counterculture to downsize your life, but really, when they talk about mainstream consumer culture, I don't actually know any of those people they're talking about. So I feel like my instinct is that they're talking about either, the very wealthy who have the discretionary income to go ahead and consume, or they're talking about a certain level of financial immaturity, which I don't think is necessarily the predominant I know that a lot of people are immature with money, and I certainly was when I was immature, um, when I was young. I was young. I feel like these people were young, and they were immature with money, and then they grew out of it. And that most of the people I know have grown out of their financial immaturity. And that, sure, marketing is directed toward people who haven't grown out of their financial immaturity yet, but that most of the people I know do not suffer from this. They are working hard. They're trying to stay out of debt. They are, I know some people who are struggling, really struggling, who do not go out and buy things and are still, just barely squeaking by. And so I don't know people who go out to eat 5 times a week and who just, buy makeup or whatever it is that these people are complaining people do. I don't know those people they're complaining about. So it's a little hard for me to relate. And I think I would be more attracted to the writing if it focused on, this is how, rather than, oh, we're so counterculture, they should focus on, oh, we're so mature. This is the natural maturation of human beings, is that we start understanding that things don't fill up our spirit, and that we are working toward bigger goals. And whether those bigger goals are that you want to leave an inheritance to your children. And again, these people are not very pro leave an inheritance to your children. They are pro give your money away, and that's great too. We're very, very motivated to do tzedakah. It's a commandment that we follow very seriously. We track our tzedakah, our giving, closely, so we make sure that we're on track for that. But yes, if these people, instead of saying, oh, we're being counterculture, said, oh, we are being normal, this is normalcy, this is what everyone comes to, and let me show you how to do that, let me show you how to mature in this way, I think it would be a lot more attractive, and not so smug. So, but despite my criticisms, there's still a lot of good ideas, and I am giving myself a challenge from this week's course, from this week's lesson, living more with less, and that is that for the next 6 months, I will not buy anything new that I can buy used. And I'm giving myself a lot of leeway here because I want to be able to keep this challenge. So things that I can't buy used are dishes because of kashrus issues, and I need to buy some socks today, and I don't really feel like I can buy used socks. I may not be committed enough to the cause. Like, there may be used socks for me somewhere, but I'm going to buy new socks. But other than that, things like children's clothes and clothing and hats, adorable hats, and tchotchkes for the house, decorating things. I mentioned before that I kind of like, I'm into decorating. I don't have any collections, but I like to have things look nice. Things look pretty nice right now. Paint, if I want to paint something, you can always find used paint on Craigslist, not used paint, but paint that's leftover paint. I consider that to be used. Rather than buying fabric, I'm going to use up from my stash. So that's my challenge. The next 6 months, only used. Let's see if I can do it. Let's see if you can do it. If you want to join me, I would love that. So if you want to join me in the challenge, leave a post below, and make a video about it. And we'll see if we can get something going here. That'd be awesome. So anyway, good luck to you. Good luck to me. And God bless and have a great week. And we'll talk to you soon in another video. Bye.